Hey everybody, this is Dimensions of the Supernatural. I am Maureen Grodzinski, and I'm here with my great co-host Anthony Simonelli, otherwise known as.
Mr. Forget About It. How you doing tonight?
So tonight we have a really interesting guest. Her name is Stephine Brady, otherwise known as Stephine Brady. She is a little bit different. She has a lot going on in her background, and she's going to tell us a little bit about it. But there's going to be something that we're going to discuss, and I'm really excited about that. So let's get her in here. Hi, Steph.
How y'all doing?
Hey,
Yeah,
long time no see.
really, no kidding.
So, what would you like to discuss first? What do you think is like the thing that you do the most?
Teaching, teach people how to react to spirits, that they're basically, they have free will just like we do, same personalities. You don't yell at them. It's just like you're yelling at somebody else. You got to give them respect,
Right.
compassion, and love, just like you do a regular person.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I
What
would
you
say like
should.
they're not in their meat suit, but they still have emotions like other people do.
Yeah, exactly. And they need help, some of them, to cross over. They don't go for whatever reason. There's a ton of reasons why they don't cross over originally,
Yeah.
but then
Hmm.
they're stuck. So I like to think that, we help them by crossing over as well.
Yeah,
Help
that's
them
good.
peace.
So
So,
it's like you do with the spirits, you give the spirits respect and getting feedback.
right,
Give the spirits respect and because they were human at one time too. So
absolutely. And then
yeah,
help the clients at the same time.
yeah,
They
yeah. And
couldn't.
in between. Oh,
So how many private sessions do you have on a regular basis?
I tell you, I'm just starting up back in Florida. For a while in Texas, it was going crazy. I had like 3 or 4 a week.
Really?
Um, during when the pandemic started, before the pandemic, let's say, I had only spirit haunts. Once the pandemic started, 9 out of 10 of them were evil and demonic.
Why do you think that's the case?
I think a door unleashed somewhere. Like Father said, he said, it's not the beginning of the end times, it's not the end. We're smack in the middle. Yeah, that's
mm.
what he told me. And I think a door just opened up and they more were unleashed upon the world.
Hmm.
So
So it's like a portal. You're saying that's opened up between the realms.
exactly. And people were not being careful. They were doing things like, I mean, not for the Ouija board. I think it causes a lot of problems. A lot of my
Mhm.
cases were due to that.
Yeah,
Even tarot cards
right.
can open up a portal.
Yeah,
Yep.
if they're not closed correctly. A lot of these people just think let's pick this up and make a couple of dollars and,
Right.
and just put them back. You have to close things. You
Yeah.
have to never
Well,
close things.
the flip side is that once you let something in, just because you close it, it's not necessarily going to go back out. That's
Hmm.
what people
Yeah,
don't realize. They're there to stay. It's up to them.
yeah, yeah. I always use that in my speeches. Like if you use those things and you bring things in,
Yeah.
okay. So I always say it's like mosquitoes outside the screen window.
Right.
They're outside. You open that screen window, they're going to come inside. You close that screen window, they're already inside.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yes.
maybe more might not come in, but the ones that are in there are going to stay.
Yeah.
You know?
People don't realize that.
And
And
the
you have
people
to
don't
go
realize
in.
that.
You have to go in with the proper intentions. As I always say, that
Right.
intentions and perceptions are really, really important.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, do you think that um, because you were mentioning, Ouija boards and things like that, do you think that
Right.
people were bored at home, so they were starting to do those
I
things?
absolutely do. I think everyone was locked up in their house, and so they'd find one or they'd go and buy one,
Yeah.
and
You,
they would experiment. They see it on TV all the time.
it's a game you could buy in Toys R Us or any kind of toy store. I mean, they have a Barbie Ouija boards. They got every
Crazy.
rock star. They have Barbie. I seen the Barbie Ouija board, GI Joe, and stuff like that. So they're aiming for the children too. And
Right.
then you got the rock ones like Ozzy Osbourne and all these different rock bands. I see those Ouija boards too. So now they're just making it. They're making it into like a toy or something that people will say, "Hey, look, I'm going to grab this and I'm going to try this. Why not?" So I know
Right.
my mom, as a kid, she used to sit there with her friends drinking sherry, thinking, "Am I ever going to find a man?
Oh no.
That's the biggest question, don't you know?
You know, am I going to find a man?" You know, and I'm like, and back then I knew something was up with that, you know,
Right.
as a kid. But it was, you know, as I got older and I realized when I started doing private homes as an investigator, that's when I say, "Yeah, oh yeah, you know, we used to do this. Oh, my daughter used to do this. Or my son, or a neighbor. Or, you know, we used to have a week that we used to get together and do the Ouija board
Right.
right there. You
No,
know,
I know.
I'm not condemning the Ouija board because the Ouija board is not all the problem. It's the people that are using it that don't know how to use it. You know, it's like driving a car and you're going to hit everything in sight.
Put down the Ouija boards and pick up a book.
Learn,
there you
educate
go.
yourself. Educate yourself. Yes.
Unfortunately, yeah, they get all their quote unquote training from the TV. And a lot of it's very wrong information. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, Zach Bagans, he's getting a little better now, but for a while, you know, or they call
Love
it
you.
demon hunter. I mean, people like that just, you know, they use the Ouija board, they make it more enticing for
Mm-hmm.
everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the. I mean, there's other things like you said. The cards can also open up.
Yeah,
I mean, even some of the devices we use can open up stuff too.
spirit
You know,
box.
Spirit box and there's other open portals that they can come through also. So
Right.
you just have to know how to work these things and learn. When you go out there, learn your equipment.
Right.
Learn how to use it, read about it, and do it correctly.
I think
And
the
then,
first thing they need to learn is protection.
mm-hmm.
They need to learn how to protect themselves way before it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's many ways to protect yourself.
Absolutely.
You know.
Visualization, I find, is one of the better ones. But
Mhm.
that's just my
Yeah.
opinion.
When I go in, I don't protect myself to go into the investigation because I want the spirit not to be repelled by me. You know, I want it to come to me and speak to me or just use my equipment, you know,
Yeah.
maybe get on stuff. That's what, afterward, you know, I say my prayers.
Yeah.
You know, and of course, I've been doing this for 40 somewhat years. So things have followed me home in the past.
Yeah.
Well, but now they don't stay as long
That's
because
good.
you know, I welcome it. I said, "Come on, sit TV. I will watch TV. Come and join me. Watch TV. You
Yeah.
welcome in your house, and then they just go. I don't last long after me. Now that works for me. Might not work for everybody else. But that works for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. As long as they're not evil or anything like that, that's okay with me.
Mm-hmm.
I just make
Yeah.
sure I'm grounded before. It's
Yes.
probably the most important thing.
Biggest thing.
I ground and protect, and then I get like a tiny little annoyance that comes home with me. So I just take care of that with like an elemental, you know, like
Well, you're married to him, aren't you?
I'm married to an annoyance. No, I love him.
I like Todd. He's a good guy. I'm just kidding.
He can
Yeah.
be an annoyance once in a while, but he admits to that.
So Stephanie, you want to be called Steph or Stephanie?
Steph's
Stephanie?
good. Steph's good.
Okay. So, how did you get into all this? I mean, how
You
did you
know,
get into the paranormal? How did you get, you know, starting to get activated or, you know, getting interested in it?
I was interested originally in college when a boyfriend died. And then 3 nights after that, I had like, you know, ectoplasm kind of thing. And
Mhm.
ectoplasm figure just, I wake up and there it'd be right in front of my bed. I'd start to move to the side and move in front of me, like kind of like blocking. My roommate even woke up and saw it. I couldn't turn on the light. The day of the funeral, it went, you know, so I kind of held that interest when I was raising my kids and everything. Once they were gone, I just let loose. I started learning from a team. Then I
Mhm.
developed my own team, and here it is 14 years later.
That's awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. And then when you get into it later on in life too, you're coming in with a different way of looking at things also.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
definitely.
you come in with a more mature attitude towards, you know, things that may happen on
Right.
on an investigation. You know,
Right.
you like look at things like, oh, wait, that might happen because of this, and this. when you're younger, you might react differently, like jump and like, oh, and get all excited. But when you're older, I'm up there and I'm like, I know I look at things. I'm like, okay, everybody's jumping around. I'm like, oh, calm down. We'll take care of it. It's like, you know, but yeah,
Exactly.
you learn that as you get older in life, just not just in the paranormal, just in life in general, things in life. So you go
Right.
into it more of an adult, more of a mature attitude towards it.
Absolutely. Without a doubt. You just got to kind of train the people that are under you if they're young. A lot of them are younger. Most of them are younger.
Yeah, yeah, I know. It's when you get on the place and they're helping you bring your equipment, and you're like, oh, I'm up there in age, I guess.
Yeah.
You guys are killing me.
It's like that. And you try to get up the stairs and like, oh no, and the stairs hurt and everything hurts you after
Yeah, the stairs
investigation.
are bad. Once I was at a house, they had no railing, just straight stairs upwards. And it was dark, and I was like, I ain't doing that.
I
See
know.
myself fall right off.
Uh, so
I,
So, Steph, what was your like toughest private investigation that you've had so far?
That's easy. That was a 2-year demonic case. And it took me forever. I brought in Father Ruben. I worked with him for 2.5 years. He cleansed the whole place, and he's of the attitude that I don't blame him. I helped you once, you didn't follow what I told you to do, I'm not coming back. So they obviously didn't follow what he told them to do, so they came back with a vengeance. And then 6 months later, I brought somebody else in. They did what they weren't supposed to. They weren't supposed to go back to the house. They did anyways. It brought them back. And at that time, I realized, you know what? I think they're all for the negative attention. I
mm,
think they don't care what attention is as long as it's, attention. They don't care if it's negative or positive.
mhm.
So I just threw my hands up in the air at that point.
Yeah, yeah.
So there
Yeah.
was really nothing you can do to combat what was there.
No, there was nothing. Well, we did it, but they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't keep it up themselves.
Hmm.
They wouldn't get more into Jesus. In fact, is what Father told them. They wouldn't give up the drinking and the drugs and things like that. That was the case that I actually got attacked in Florida. Well, they were in Texas. Um, I had bugs. I was on the beach. There were literally tons of flies with red eyes just landing on me and biting me. I'd move over to one side, they'd move with me. I'd move over to the other side, they'd come with me. I looked and nobody else was getting bothered by them.
Wow.
And then at that point, I was like, okay, fine, I'm going to go because I had bruised like burns in my arm as well. And I'm sitting there, I kind of stumble, I'm on my knees. Something takes my head and slams it down to the sand twice. And
Oh my
I'm just number one, I never went back to that beach. And number two, they're not liking me.
No, they're burning you and hitting your head against things. Think it's
Yeah,
hard to leave.
yeah. Sand, oh my
So
god.
so it wasn't just that these people were like exhausted and they weren't keeping it up. It was that they were into drugs and alcohol and
Yeah,
negative.
exactly.
Yeah, there
Exactly.
wasn't any helping that then.
No, there
Well, with
isn't.
drugs and alcohol, it's not good too because that breaks them down and always makes them negative because they're at their lowest all the time. So
Absolutely.
that feeds into any kind of demonic or any kind of you know just everything that's not going right. So
Right.
that's the it gets into
Yeah.
negative and it's always negative. So that's always back and forth with that. Demonic and negative activities. You
Yeah.
know, you,
Yeah.
you gotta go to an investigation with a positive. Be a
True.
positive, and you
True.
go in positive. You get more. Like you get a lot more stuff.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we all have a hedge of protection around us, is what I was told. And
Mhm.
drugs and alcohol kind of put holes in that and make us more receptive to
Mhm.
being attacked,
Mhm.
essentially.
they say don't go into an investigation or even a walk-in or whatever you're doing if you've been drinking or
Oh,
drugging
yeah.
at
Or
all.
angry if you had a fight with your spouse before, don't go
Yeah.
in. That's just
Yeah.
gonna
Either.
get in. So
Yeah.
things, you're
Yeah.
totally
You shouldn't
right.
go in with any kind of anger or anything or a negative, any kind of thing that brings you down.
Right, they'll pick up on that.
And they'll use it against you.
Yeah, without
Definitely use
a
it.
doubt.
Yeah.
Without a-
Do you think everything? I knew I work with demonologists. I worked with a couple famous demonologists too, but everything these people when they go in, they think everything's demonic. Nothing's negative, it's just demonic. I don't believe in demonic and negativity. What do you think about that?
Um, no, I believe there's a lot of positive out there. I
Mm-hmm.
believe there's a lot of spirit. I mean, there's a lot of people they're protecting their family that are there. There's a lot of spirits that, I mean, that was their house. They're attached to it. That was their furniture. They're attached to it. I don't believe everything's negative or evil, without
Mm-hmm.
doubt. I go in thinking it's positive, then I go disprove that it's paranormal, pretty much. You
Yeah.
know, I go in to see the scientific mind, and if I can't figure it out, then it's all paranormal in my mind. It takes a
Mhm.
while
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
just
There's a lot of times I know I go into places and I find that you have negative spirits that try to act demonic just to get you scared off, or just to move you away. Just to because they're in their territory. You're in their territory. So I feel that
oh yeah,
there's a lot like that
yeah,
too, and they're more negative than demonic. I don't use the word demonic too often in my stuff.
right.
So
Yeah, same.
yeah.
No, that's one reason I went into exorcism. I felt like God had like thrown a bunch my way, and I figured there was a reason for it.
Hmm.
Evil is because you know what? If someone's evil when they die, if someone's a bad person when they're dying, they're going to be the same way on the other side.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Oh,
That's how I feel too. Yes.
yeah, the demonic they have a different air to them. You can tell by the way they sometimes the way the EVPs are, although they're very close sometimes to evil.
Hmm.
Um, sometimes the way the activity is, they've got to prove it to me with my own eyes. The
Hmm.
EVP don't even do it. I've got to see video. I've got to see some activity going on in front of my eyes. It just doesn't. A lot of people say, "Well, they're not going to react to you being here," or you put up the cameras. I put up the cameras a lot of times when I'm gone. Well, they don't like the cameras. They're not going to do anything, and that doesn't satisfy me
Hmm. Hmm.
by any means. So, yeah, you really have to prove to me it's demonic.
Yeah.
You really,
Like I said, I've been to a lot of big places also.
yeah.
Allegheny Lunatic Asylum and West Virginia
Oh,
Penitentiary and stuff like that, and Penhurst,
that's on
and
the list.
that all has bad, negative stuff.
Right.
There's other places I've been to also, and I don't like I said, I come across these things that are going on there, and many times like I feel they just want you out, so they make themselves look bigger. Make themselves look more scarier. Maybe glowing eyes, or
Right.
something to make them look demonic. And everybody says, "Oh, that's evil. That's evil." It's not evil. It's a spirit that just wants you away from them.
Right.
It could be a good spirit when you're not bothering them.
Right, absolutely. They can have tremendous energy too. They can
Mhm.
pick you up and throw you against just as much as a demonic can.
Yes. Yeah. All right.
So yeah, without a doubt.
So, Florida, have you done any of the big places? I know you do personal, but do you do like landmarks like St. Albans or anything like that down there? You any of the big places?
Well, in fact, a couple weeks I'm going twice in a row to St. Augustine.
St. Augustine. I'm saying
Yeah.
in August, but Augustine.
Yeah,
Uh,
to
that,
do the lighthouse and stay in a
that's
haunted.
on my bucket list. I would love to be
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
There's
I've
so
never
much
done that
activity.
before.
There's so much stuff going on there.
The
With the
place is
wars and stuff.
expensive. Yeah.
That
But it's
that's cool.
hard. Like I said, the places are so expensive nowadays.
That's right.
They
They
Yeah.
are.
want $500 for up to 9 people, and I thought that's pretty dicey. But then they had a special for $50 a person, and
Mhm.
well, that's reasonable. So
Yeah.
we took that one. So it'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to it.
Hmm. That's why we hooked up with many other teams, so we could get like Trans Allegheny,
That would be
and,
nice.
and we were just invited to Ohio Reformatory. I'd love to
Oh,
get there. We were just invited to that going there August, so I'm still working on that one because that's a big trip. But
that'd be cool.
it's we organize with other teams, and what happens is all of you get together and you can get a big place because
Right.
Trans Allegheny is a lot of money.
Yeah.
There's a couple thousand right there, and so you get all these teams, you get together and get these places. The now also we just went to the well this year. It's my second time there. The Conjuring House.
Oh my God. See, I
We've
gotta
been
move
there.
up to you all.
It's a
Closer, closer to you all. I gotta move up there.
A
Yeah,
little
but I
bit.
think that's a Rhode Island. That's a Rhode Island.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean,
It's
it's
still
closer
driving.
to where you are, but it's not close to us.
Yeah, I hear
It's
you.
still like 5 hour ride for me.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. I hear you. That'd be awesome though.
so it's like but you get together with teams, and that's what you call para unity. Everybody's talking about para unity. That's why
Right.
you do it. You get
See,
together with other people, and you organize, and boom, you get these big places. So that's what's good about getting together with all these big places because they're getting expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. That's perfect though. Yeah, I should take that idea and expand it down here.
Hmm.
Because we don't have like a Paracon that I know of down by us.
There actually are some by you.
Are
Yeah,
there?
I'll have to send you a list.
Okay, yeah, please do. Please do.
Eventually, I'll get there.
Where are you from?
I'm in Pennsylvania. Anthony's in New York.
Okay.
Or,
Okay.
or
New York, Queens, New York,
sorry, I don't have the accent for that.
New York.
New York.
New York, yeah,
But I'd love to get to some of the ones in Florida.
yeah.
They got some good ones. A little by
Say
little.
St. Augustine, I would love to be there. That's
Is it
one of
good?
the places I'm definitely on my bucket list.
Same. I would like to be there.
You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
one. And you're not. Well, how far are you from New Orleans?
I was closer in Texas to New Orleans. They've got a bunch
Oh,
of them
okay.
too. But I was too busy doing client homes when I was in Texas.
Okay.
So I didn't have any fun investigations going on. But yeah, New Orleans is well, we did go. Now I gotta back it up. We did go to that. Remember the story during the hurricane? Or during hurricane, I think it was Rita. Well, yeah, where they had the wiped out the wall and
Oh yeah. Okay. That was that Rita or Sandy? One of the two.
yeah, I'm not sure. I think it was
Not
Rita.
Rita. I'm Rita. I don't know anymore. So
No, I don't either. But remember the story of the guy killing his girlfriend, chopping her up and putting her in the oven in the refrigerator? And then he killed himself by jumping off I don't know, a ledge or something.
Mhm.
Anyways, we went up into
Yeah, but
there.
that happens in Queens all the time. So I must not listen to that.
Yeah,
That happens over here all the time in Queens.
no kidding.
Chopping each other up on the ovens. Hey,
God.
you gotta eat.
It was heavy. It was and it smelled. To
Really?
me, I could smell. I mean, one of the gifts I have, which is not really a gift, I have a great smell.
I would
So-
want that.
I don't want it either. I have every time something goes bad, I get what it's called. There's no paranormal smell. There's no, I can't.
Clairgustians? Is that what it is? Clairgustians?
Yeah, something like that. So yeah, this one I could live without. I think definitely.
Unless
went
you
to
smell bacon all the time.
What's that?
Unless you smell bacon all the time, then I'd be good with that, I think.
There you go.
Bacon is good too, but I'd be hungry even more.
I know.
So you actually went to that place where that happened?
Yeah, I did. I did. They had the original oven, the original refrigerator, everything
Oh,
was just as he left it.
oh
So,
wow.
yeah,
Ew.
I know. It was kind of, I just stayed for a few minutes. It felt too heavy, too bad. And everybody else was taking pictures, doing EVPs. Oh, I didn't think he was around there, but, or her. So I just went outside, took a, took
Yeah.
a,
Well, I mean, I could deal with a lot of things when I go on investigations. I think smells, certain smells, because you go into a lot of places. You get the. I'm a retired electrician, so I did a lot of construction work in
yeah,
Manhattan and the subways and all that stuff. So you get smells out there, and like, ooh. But when
yeah,
it comes to like dead bodies and stuff like that, you could distinct that smell from a
I've
lot
never
of
seen that,
things.
but
You
I don't know.
know.
Yeah, I've been to Zach Bagan's museum a few times, and until that cauldron where, and I forget what the name was, that he cut up the bodies and put in there and boiled them, I guess, basically. It still smells. It's horrible.
Really.
He has some of the worst stuff in there I've ever seen.
Oh
I,
wow.
He does have a lot of. I've never been there, but he does have a lot of not great things.
yeah,
Uh,
he is. Bela Lugosi's mirror. At one point, he said, "Everybody who wants to look in the mirror, stay in here." And then I heard the door shut. I looked behind. I was the only one there.
Lee?
How am I going to do this? I didn't see anything, but that's just me.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's so much stuff going on now with the everybody with the K2 thinks they're paranormal investigators too.
Right. Right.
And that's where all these portals of the other side starting to be opened up,
Yeah.
because you have these people going in and not um, knowing what they're doing, and they go into a private resident, they aggravate whatever is there, make it worse, and then the team disappears.
Right. Absolutely.
Now they got their little thing on YouTube saying, "Hey, look what we got."
Yeah. I've
But
gotten so many
how about
calls.
the family you left behind with what you opened up?
Right. Exactly. That's happened more times than I can count with my
Yeah,
clients. And
I
it's
know.
disgusting.
Yeah, you come in afterwards to clean up their mess,
Absolutely. And it's
and sometimes
horrible.
it takes like years, like you said.
Yeah, they put it on YouTube. They, like I said, they're only, it seems to me their only thing is they want a TV show.
Hmm.
So, but they
Yeah.
don't know what they're doing. A lot of them go in there and do their thing and aggravate it, and they actually come home with an attachment. They have no idea how to get a hold of it, get it off them or get
Hmm.
any help or anything. So,
And,
Yeah.
it's
and that's sad because you took the time out to help them when you could have been helping someone else who truly needed it, and
right,
they're not taking your advice.
right.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
sad.
It's true.
There's a lot
I
of,
had a case like that. We were
yeah,
there like 3.5 years, and the woman was getting scratched, and she was getting all this, and she did have activity in the house because I actually seen. I'm a sensitive, so I could see things too. So I seen something come through the
yeah,
door, and stand there, and like he looked at me like, "Oh shit," he sees me, and then ran back out. But she did have stuff going on there, and
right,
then I found out, I she had very high EMFs in the house, and the panels for the whole building was right underneath her. So I went
oh,
down there, electrician stuff, and I'm
right,
testing everything. They wasn't properly grounded. There was a lot of stuff that made EMF from the electrical, but I
right.
think that enhanced the spirits in the building
Oh, yeah,
to come and made it like more of a portal. And not only the high EMS make you hallucinate spirits and stuff, you know, but it did bring stuff to her.
right,
But the whole thing is, she used to wake up with scratches and stuff. She had a cat, and every time she showed me a scratch, it looked like to me. I had cats, so it looked like a
right,
cat claw or something like that. And we went 3 years, and we worked with her. I brought him. I brought him about three different people to clean, to
right,
for crossovers. Okay,
right.
and every time we cross over, you could feel the energy go.
Yeah.
as you do it. You could feel like, wow, you know how peaceful it feels. You know you do it, so you feel the peace, and after that,
Yeah.
and but 3 years went by. She kept on calling, and we've showed her what to do. You know, you stage and all this, the prayers and all this, and even the people that
Right.
did the crossover showed her what to do, but she
Right.
wasn't doing it. So I felt she was like a person that had nobody around her,
Yeah.
and she wanted people there to do the investigation because we come in like 2 3 people, you
She's
know, and
lonely.
she'll serve us coffee and everything. Like she wanted company. So
Yeah.
I felt bad for that, but she didn't want it to go.
Do you think
Yeah.
she knew it was the cat that was doing it, or was it like happening at night, or do you think
Yeah.
she actually knew?
I believe she knew it was the cat, and she kept on saying it wasn't the cat because it was a cat scratch. You know, it was cat scratches on her leg and stuff. That's why we went in because we figured, oh wow, she's getting scratched. Now it's getting physical. Let's help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I
Right.
brought a reverend in there.
Nice.
I brought a shaman there, and I brought some other people in there to cross over, and everything's. It's just like I can't keep on coming. You know,
Right.
I tried as much as I could, but then she stopped calling anyway. So
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Just
but you know, it's sad that I think
it
she
is.
wanted somebody there for
Right.
company.
Right. Exactly. That is sad.
Yeah.
Lonely.
Steph, do you think well, first of all, it's like a two-part question.
Okay.
Can anyone perform an exorcism, or is it that anyone could perform a deliverance, but it takes a priest to do an exorcism?
I tell you one thing. Catholic priests definitely have the edge over anybody else. I've seen Father do it, and it's incredible. One thing that I'm going to be a Catholic priest as well, in a different sect, which is good. Um, but yeah, anybody can do a deliverance. I believe not anybody. I believe it has to be a calling. I really do. I believe God calls them to do it.
So someone who feels like they have the power inside of them to be able to
Right,
perform a deliverance.
right, and they realize that it's not them; that it's God working through them.
Okay.
Mhm.
They have to realize that, and a lot of people don't. And it's dangerous. They have to go through training. It's dangerous if you just go up and do it. That's
Mhm.
what people don't realize is that you gotta know what you're doing. Otherwise, you may call them and they make them jump on you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so people have got to be real careful.
Do you
Yeah, I have a
feel
friend that went through that, and it took him a couple of years before he could even get the collar to
Oh,
actually start the exercise, you know, to start doing that. And
right.
then you get these people that read a book and like, oh, I could do that.
It's scary.
Yeah, it is scary.
Really scary. That's what Father kept saying. Don't you do it. Don't do it unless you have the proper training. And he taught me for 2.5 years. He did teach me as he was going along.
Hmm.
So I think I'll probably take some of his methods and some of what I'm learning and combine them,
Hmm.
I think.
Yeah.
I see a minister try and do it. I've seen Father try and do it. Hands down, Father, without a doubt.
because
Yeah.
he's like this giving his whole life to it?
Exactly.
Do you think
Exactly.
that like someone that's kind of on the same lateral level within a different um, religion could do the same thing?
That I don't know. I can't say because I haven't been exposed to it. I'm sure that they can. I'm sure that they
Because
can.
I think that people think that the Catholic Church is the only
That can
Mm.
be that.
the only religion that can do it, but you have to wonder, there are demons in all societies and all cultures. There
Absolutely.
has to be another religion that is capable of doing the same thing.
Yeah,
What do
I
you
don't
think about
believe that.
Yeah.
I believe they have to have the calling and be able to take training. I don't believe the Catholic Church is the only ones that can do it.
Yeah.
that? Yeah, I don't.
I know rabbis have done it already, and
Shamans?
shamans, and what was the other religion? But it's not only the Catholics that could do it. I
No,
mean, the reason we think Catholics is what you see on TV in the movies.
right.
You got the priest coming in, like in The Exorcist, coming in, and with the moon in the background and the light
Yeah.
coming out of the light window. That's what we see.
Yeah.
We pertain everything that we think about paranormal to what we see on TV.
Right.
Which is always the Catholic Church.
Yeah,
I
it's
believe
not
they've got
true.
an
I've
edge.
seen other.
Yeah, I do believe they got an edge, but I don't believe they're the only ones that can do it.
I watched a movie. I mean, I'm like obsessed with this stuff. I watched one. Actually, there were two of them. There was one that was kind of like a Peruvian kind of thing, and it was in the jungles of Peru. And then I watched another one that was like in India, and they had to have their version of a priest or shaman or priestess or whatever to come in to fix the situation. And it was, I don't know. I think like the movies that are in Spanish or Indian, they're always the ones that get to me more than the ones in English. They're scary as hell.
Yeah.
I wish that I didn't have to watch subtitles though, because it just like loses the luster. And then I'm like, I don't want to watch one for a while anymore. But they're the scariest. And I always like to ask what someone thinks about that, because I think too many people think that the Catholic Church is where it's at, and that's, they're the only ones that can perform the rite of exorcism.
They're not the only ones. Like I said, I do believe they've got a little bit of an edge there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've seen he was taught by the Vatican. Amazing.
You heard yourself there. Sorry.
Yeah, I did. No, it's okay. He would bless like grape juice is what he would do. He learned old school, Vatican I. He bless it, he'd give it to them. If they had a demon in them, it would come out. And then you'd have to go through the ritual of getting it out permanently, etc. What was really strange was there was 4 exorcisms, and they're all different places of the city. They didn't know each other or anything. Said that when the demon was out, they were in hell with demons watching them, and hell was cold. Every single one of them said the same thing verbatim.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting. I thought, I didn't know hell was cold. I was assuming.
We're told that it's like burning hot there and you're going to, be in flames.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. But no, it's cold. There are flames, but it's cold. It was bizarre.
So, I think that where we're at right now is hell. It's your own personal hell.
Right. I agree.
And you just keep coming back to learn
how people live their lives too. You can make your own hell.
It's true.
You can make your own hell in life too. People that do drugs and drink alcohol and all that stuff. And then when they hit rock bottom, that's their hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when you're up here and you're doing things and that's heaven. It's this world is what you make it too. That's what I think.
Yeah, we're all here to learn. I don't know if y'all believe in reincarnation or anything like that. I do too. I believe we're all sent down to I don't know whether it's karma, or I believe you pick your life before you come down. Yeah. And it's kind of like I look at myself, I said, what the hell was I thinking?
I think the more difficult the lesson that you choose, the more you learn while you're here, and then you maybe don't have to reincarnate the next time around, and then you can choose if you want to come back.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Because I'm interested in doing some of those regressions and seeing how many times I've been reincarnated.
I've actually I kind of like popped into one without even doing a past life regression, and then I popped back out really quickly, and I didn't realize that that's what it was until I read something about it. It happened twice in the same day, and then I did the past life regression. I saw my whole life play out. I figured out my name and who I married and who my children were, and I got to see what my life was like. And it was like a kind of a walkthrough where someone asked questions, and
Yeah.
it asked, how are you different now as compared to that life, and how are you similar to that past life?
Right.
And it's really interesting what you learn from that, and how even how you look similar in that lifetime, and how your DNA doesn't really change very much, but it teaches you why things are different in this lifetime, and how they're the same. It's a really cool thing. Like, I would really suggest to people to have a past life regression if they get the opportunity, and have those questions asked, because it's really interesting.
It does sound interesting.
I was told I was an Indian warrior at one in my past life.
I can see that.
That I was actually killed on the first big battle of So I'm like, I don't know what kind of warrior I am. I got killed right away. So
Yeah, they say your birthmarks or something like that. It shows that, if you got like a brown birthmark or
yeah,
whatever, it shows how you were killed.
that's interesting because the psychic told me I was at one of these parties with a bunch of psychics and stuff like that. It was a Halloween party,
Yeah.
and I was walking. My brother and I were walking out to get some beers because the beers were in the back of the house. So walking out, and a woman was coming in. She goes, "You were an Indian warrior in your past life, and you were killed right there." And she pointed to where my heart was,
All
where-
right.
and I have a birthmark right there where she did it, and she didn't know I had a shirt on. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's so weird you said that, because as soon as you mentioned that you passed away in the first battle, I saw an arrow go through your heart.
That's interesting.
Thank you.
I didn't do it.
Thank you.
I didn't do it.
And it wasn't Cupid? Come on.
No, you cherub.
Yeah, I mean, that was interesting. And then they turned to my brother and said that he was an abused woman in a past life.
Oh, geez.
Oh.
And he was like, and then my brother, being my brother and me, because we always joke around, he goes, "Why is he the Indian? I'm the abused woman."
Well, Ufi wants to know if you were American or Mesoamerican or other Native
American, North American. I was,
We
well, I was. They said the woman said I was from the tribe that was around this area. So that was interesting because it was the tribe with I forgot the name of the tribe that was within this New York area I am, but it was big. It was a big tribe because it took quite. It was like they were on the water and they fished and they did a lot of stuff like that. So it was an Indian American Native, if you want to be politically correct, but I'm not. But from this area, so and I still live in this area, so that was kind of I'm thinking that was a connection there, So
That's cool. We all travel in the same soul circles too, from what I've been told.
I believe that.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
do believe that.
I was at a kind of like a past life conference type of thing, and this woman said that if you are sitting in, say, like a concert arena, all of those same people that are sitting in that concert arena would have been, say, at like a gladiators arena, and they would have been watching something similar.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, that's really interesting, I think.
It is.
So Steph, like, what is your favorite time frame in history?
That's 1920s.
So like a flapper kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Prohibition.
I kind of like that myself.
So we probably all had like a lifetime together in that time frame, because all of us like that time frame. So maybe Anthony was running the bar.
Hey, hey, I got the distillery in my backyard here,
Distillery, and we were probably, working in the speakeasy together.
Absolutely. There you go. What's your favorite time period?
Me? I was always like really drawn to 3 time frames, like Egypt, the Titanic, and oddly enough, slavery. Like,
Oh,
I
okay.
bawl my eyes out when it comes to slavery for some reason, and I really truly believe that I was a slave. I wasn't a slave master.
Right, right. Yeah, I couldn't see it as a slave master at all.
Absolutely not.
No,
Mhm.
they
Yeah.
But those three, and it's weird because I know how to swim. I'm a very strong swimmer, but I'm
Right.
terrified of drowning, like getting stuck underwater, or like having something wrapped around my legs and holding me down.
I hear
Um,
you.
so I think I did actually drown in the Titanic.
Okay.
I always had a weird feeling.
What's
Me,
that?
you want to know where I like the Knights Templar, that era,
That'd be
you
cool.
know, the knights and I have a knife collection, so I like knives and swords and all that stuff, and I come from that. I think I like that era the best. How everything. I like the 20s too. I always watch the mafia movies and stuff like that. And,
Yeah,
I do
exactly.
like the 20s back then. Growing up, I met a couple of those guys from that era too. So
Oh, cool.
I
yeah,
could definitely see him in a speakeasy or a
Yeah.
bootleg company.
yeah. But I like stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm not a real. I like Old West, but I'm not as. I'm more like into the Knights and the Knights Templar, like that era.
I
Of you know. I did a lot of my research is watching TV shows. I don't pick up books. Unless I want to go and I Google something. If I don't understand something, I always try to find out more about things.
yeah.
That way. But yeah, I'm more interested in that era. When they how they came over here and everything else and rumors and they're all secretive. So yeah,
Yeah.
they're still around. I think.
There's definitely little connections all over the place to this
Hmm.
day. Um, Steph Ufi wants to know: are you a proponent of the aspect of the Bardo in reincarnation?
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Are you a proponent of the aspect of the Bardo in reincarnation?
I've never heard of the Bardo, believe it or not.
I think she just means like, are you into reincarnation? Like, are you a heavy believer of it? And I
Oh
think
yeah, I
that
believe it with all my heart and soul. That's why I
your
want
light, your
to.
light is literally flashing over
Which
you.
which one? This one?
Yeah, it's like doing Morse code.
Oh, that is weird because it's not looking from here. That is really weird.
Just pulse. I think it's just got to do with the camera focusing in and out.
Right? Is that better?
I think
That's a
that
little better, yes.
I think Steph is just an Earth angel.
There we go.
Yeah.
So Ufi
Explain
said
like that.
that the Bardo is the place where the soul goes to consider or ponder their most recent life before moving on to another.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I believe in that wholeheartedly. I mean, you have to. I believe what I believe is I believe we keep going back until we get to the point of what we feel or God feels is that where we should, we have the choice of staying up there. But
Mhm.
that's what I believe.
Like once you've learned that lesson, then you can come back and learn the next lesson.
Right.
Or
Exactly.
yeah, I believe the
Exactly.
same thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's my beliefs and all that.
Well, I always said if anything happens to me now, I
Yeah.
wouldn't want to go. I want to stay. So I want to watch my kids grow up and help, be there for my family, someone to see where they're going, you know.
Right. Absolutely. Now, have
Mhm.
you guys had near death experiences or?
Me, myself, when I was born, I almost died
Oh,
at birth.
geez.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was born with a double hernia. It was wrapped around all my insides, and
Well,
they kept me. I almost died. I was in the hospital for a little bit as a infant. I was just born, and then
yeah.
they couldn't operate on me till I was 6 months old because I was too small
Well,
at that time
right.
for them to operate. So I was throughout that whole time I was not healthy, and then
Yeah.
they finally cut it out, and I'm here. So I guess they did something right there, but it did stunt my growth. It did stunt
Yeah.
my growth. Yeah,
Big by the odds.
yeah.
Definitely.
So I'm not, I'm not that tall, but I'm not that short. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
I understand that.
Yeah. So yeah. So it's yeah. That's the only that near death. I think, and I was also born with two different color eyes. I have a
Oh, yeah.
green eye, and a blue eye.
It's
Okay.
So
interesting.
special.
My
Yeah.
blue eye end up year, a couple years, well, about 10 years ago, I went blind in it because of an accident. My blue
Yeah.
eye, but I was born, and I always was seeing things as I was a young kid. So I feel that's where I got my abilities and stuff. And as growing up,
Do you
my
think that was something that was a warning in advance?
the eyes, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know if that had something to do with what happened to me as a kid. You
Or was
know,
that like something that was from a past life that was?
that's a possibility. That's a possibility. But I don't think if I had a past life that was an Indian, I don't think they were really blue or green eyes on them.
But not from when you were a Native American. From like it could have been from any past life. Like
Mm,
maybe as a Native American, that wasn't your only injury. Maybe you got hit with an arrow in the eye and that blinded you. And you know when you lose the color of your eye.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Which I just going blind in that eye, I it went totally different. It's a possibility, and maybe that's why I'm blind now because of a past life. Maybe this is still an effect from it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I don't know.
This sounds really weird, but I have a cat named Mina, and when I rescued her, she had blue eyes. One was much brighter than the other one, and
Right.
she's blind in that eye, and that's exactly the same. You could tell which eye she has a problem with.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
maybe that's where it came from.
yeah. Maybe there is a name for a medical name with people with two different color eyes.
Is it dichromia or something like that? Or
It could be. I don't remember. You're asking the wrong person. You can't.
I don't know. Oofy
My
probably
memory is so short these days. I'm like, remember, I can't remember go to sleep at night. So,
that's because you don't.
you
Um,
know,
Maria wants to, we have some questions. Maria wants to know if you were allowed to pick your life, why would you pick a serial killer or pedophile? And why would you choose a life to torture others? I think that's a karmic debt kind of thing.
Yeah, I think so too.
Anthony,
why would they pick them?
do you think it's
Uh,
karmic debt?
I think in a case like that, they probably were nice to begin with, and they can't come back to be the same type of person they were in the past because they know that if you believe there is a better place to go, heaven or hell, or wherever your religion might put you in a better place, you know, maybe they feel they won't get to that place because they lived a bad life to begin with. So why not come back and do what you
Or
did in the
not.
past?
You just
Yeah.
think they're a
Create
nasty
yourself as
person
the
all right
same person.
Right.
around. Okay.
Very
Um,
interesting.
Oofy says, group, how many are aware that there are those entities that transport souls from one place to another?
Transport entities
Are we speaking of
Indians?
like a
ET?
crossover. No?
Oh.
There goes one of the entities. Somebody's getting crossed over.
I wish he would actually.
I mean, in certain, I know the American natives, the Indians, do have, and not that Orientals, the Chi, and all that. They believe that their souls fly on wings of birds, and
They
that the
do.
birds take them to the afterlife. You know, so maybe this, that might be one of the ways that people brought over. Um, you know,
I
brought
believe down here.
after they die or something.
Yeah. I believe down here the angels escort them. I mean,
Hmm.
that's my belief. Or they're the ones that were dead before them, the dead family
Yeah,
members.
yes,
So many of
that's
them.
what I feel. The family waits for them
And they
Yeah,
escort them through.
exactly.
and they escort them. How many people in the past? As a matter of fact, I just talked to somebody about that. Um, in the past they're dying and they're on their deathbed and they're, takes a couple of days for them to really pass over. They're mentioning people that they see, a sister or brother or a neighbor or somebody that they love. They even see their pets.
Right.
Maybe that they're there waiting for them to pass to escort them to the next place. You know,
Definitely.
that's
That's
a
what I would do.
possibility.
Yeah.
You know,
I
yeah,
had 2 death experiences. The first one, I had people standing in the. I've told this story before. There were 3 people standing in a tunnel waiting for me, and they were all family members that had passed away before I had met them. The second time, there was nobody. It was just pitch black, but it was very calming. So I really truly think that like this is my last lifetime.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was it's almost like 9 lives, and this is like my 9th. That was my 8th. I really think that might be it.
so
But
you're a cat. One of your lives.
I connect with cats.
Oh,
They're like my familiars.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you're a witch, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's what Ufi was asking about, but that would be something that would make sense. But I mean, everybody has their own perspective on what those entities would be. If she's talking about ETs, that might be something else.
That's true.
Um,
And I know people that believe after they pass, there is a something waiting for them, some sort of saucer, flying a ship that they will go on to, and it will take them over to heavens. I know there is some people I'm friends with that believe that. I mean, you can't prove them wrong. You can't prove us wrong. So it's like not till you're there, we're going to find out, and we don't want to be there yet. I don't want to be on my deathbed to find out. Hey, so I can answer that question.
Ufi said transport like a soul taxi driver or a ferryman. She said a bird might be one way to comprehend those that transport souls. The living mind does not see or comprehend such things with any clarity. Hi, Charles.
Hmm. And like I said, a living mind will not find out that answer until we're there and we die, and then we'll know the answer. Because anything we can't comprehend right now, we can't. Because we don't know. It's nothing we can actually sit down and put in paper saying this is the way it is, because none of us know.
Well, I truly believe that angels are extraterrestrials that have wings.
Could be.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you're not the only one that thinks that. There are other people that do.
There are
think.
lots of people, and I thought I was being really crazy when I told someone that, but I was having a conversation with 2 men who don't believe in God, but they said that they believed the same thing, and they couldn't believe that I brought it up to them. But they're conversationalists, and they don't mind talking about religion or government or whatever, which is why I liked having conversations with them. And they were shocked that I brought that up to them, and they said we've had that thought as well. And I said I just thought I was losing my mind, because every time I saw my watchers that kind of stood around my bed and helped me as a child, they were very tall beings with cloaks, and they had wings, but they looked I don't know if it's PC to say alienish, but their faces were very alienish or ET-ish.
It's interesting. I wonder if they were your spirit guides. Are they still, you still see them, or?
I do still see them. I believe that they are actually kind of like my ascended masters.
Okay.
They've literally saved my life a few times. They don't speak to me. Like through them, they have flat plate like faces. They
Okay.
have like a bluish glow to them. They almost look porcelain like, and they just have 2 dots for noses with no nose, but they have big, huge cobalt watery eyes. It looks like swirling water, and
Yeah.
just a tiny little line for a mouth, but they wear these big cloaks with hoods, and they have huge wings that come out of their cloaks.
Oh, geez.
And they're
Okay.
humongous.
Are they really? That's cool. So you talk mental telepathy, sort of?
They talk here, not
Yeah.
here.
Okay. Okay.
And I have had things happen to me that should have really hurt, and I don't feel anything. But like I've burned myself as a little kid, and I
Yeah.
didn't feel anything, but there's a singe mark on my hand, and they were standing there and they had their hand, and I'm not saying he or she or him or her because it's a they. And
Right.
they had their hand on my shoulder and I could hear them talking in my head. I've had them walk into my house, but they were smaller.
Mhm.
And I could hear them coming in my head, but I was sleeping. Like these were little tiny beings.
Right. Right.
I could hear them walking. I could hear their padded feet coming into the house, and I could hear them coming. It woke me up, and then when I looked, I could still hear them walking in my head, and then they spoke to me.
So they grew up as you grew up? Sort
No,
of?
they were huge, huge beings as a kid, and I wasn't afraid of them. But
Okay.
recently I saw them, and they were like 2 or 3 feet tall. There were two of them. They were like little tiny things, but these didn't have wings. These were just kind of not translucent, and they weren't solid either.
Right. Right.
I've seen a
That's,
lot of these things, and they all look different.
yeah, I
They
believe
want you
it.
have a picture of them.
I wish I could draw a picture. I'm a terrible sketch artist. If I had to work for the police department, they'd fire me.
Stick figure.
Yeah, I mean, either a stick figure or a blob with just like circles. But it's interesting that, we all see different things and some people question them. I just believe in them because I've seen so many of these things that I
Right.
think I'd probably be in a mental hospital if like all of you guys didn't exist.
I get that.
We don't exist. You are in a mental hospital.
This is probably like a slip in the matrix right now.
You're in a mental hospital, and this
Slowly
is
slipping.
happening as you're being this. They're pumping you with some kind of medication to keep you sleeping.
If
And
that's
you're
the
in your
case,
dreams.
there
It's
shouldn't
a
be
nightmare.
anything in my body right now. I'm really going to report this hospital. So, Steph, why don't you tell us about for everybody that doesn't know, there is a woman by the name of Bishop Rita, and I don't want to pronounce her last name incorrectly.
I think it's Sugala.
Shigala.
I
That's what I
think.
wanted to say. She is part of the Legion of Exorcists. There is a TV show which has the same name,
Right.
and she is teaching Steph to be an exorcist. So you will actually be a priest?
Yeah, I will be a priest. I'll be a deacon. One day I'll graduate to deacon. The next day I'll graduate to a priest / exorcist.
So how long have you been going through the process?
A couple months right now.
And then how long is it until
I
completion?
think the end of January. It's a 6-month class.
Okay,
In reality, it's a year class. We just found that out. So we're kind of doing double time right now.
okay. And then January would be a deacon or priest?
Both.
Oh, wow.
It's a 2-day ceremony. So first day we become a deacon. Second day we become a priest / exorcist.
So, okay, so it definitely isn't Roman Catholic, right?
No, it's not Roman. The Roman Catholics recognize us. We're Celtic Cross Old Catholic Church. They recognize us, but yet, like my son's getting married. If I were to do his wedding, it would be legal, but the Roman Catholic would not put it down there. They
That's
would
amazing.
so
Because I was just going to ask you if it was Nicolaitan, because I know that Bishop Brian Ouellette, he's not happy with the Catholic Church at all, but he is, I don't even, do they recognize him?
I don't think so.
Nicolaitan, I don't think they do, because he's very outspoken.
Yeah. They don't
And
like
hello. That's Anubis.
that. Oh, cool.
But is yours even like the different sects? I know they're somewhat different. He's very outspoken. He's very different from any priest I've ever met. He's
It's like an archbishop. About there
yeah.
goes Archbishop Nick. And I forget his last name. He'll kill me, but I don't remember his last name. But he's extremely outspoken.
So the Celtic, how is that different from the others?
Yeah, it's more laid back. Number one, it recognizes women. The biggest thing in my mind, it recognizes women
That's
as
amazing.
exorcists, as priests, as what it gives them. It gives them a I don't know what the word is, that we're actually capable of doing that. You know, equality. I'm sorry. So it recognizes us, whereas lots of old Catholic churches don't.
How
Like I
many
said,
female exorcists are there?
right now there's, I think in the class there's 6 going to be ordained
In your
in
class?
June. What's
So
that?
how many are there in the world?
Women? Oh my God, I don't even know. To tell you the truth, I couldn't even begin to guess.
There can't be many.
There aren't many. No, there are women Catholic exorcists. There can't be many at all because it's just not a religion that women are recognized in that aspect.
Mhm.
You know, one of them, like I said, the closest one I found was going to have me be a married nun, and then I'd go in and hand the man exorcist, I guess, everything he needed. I'd be his like little servant. And I was like, I don't think this works for me. So I kind of backed out of that one. But this is, they recognize you as being capable of doing anything that anybody else can do. So it's awesome. I connected with her. I saw her on the TV. Sat down, wrote her a message, and then the very next day she responded to me. She's an incredible woman, absolutely incredible.
She
So,
seems very very calm, very cool, very collected,
she is
which
absolutely.
is awesome.
It is awesome, and she's always there for us, no matter what it is. You know, she's just a very giving person, very knowledgeable. She showed. In fact, I wish I had a picture of it right now, but she did a satanic church, right? And she put pictures of, you can actually see the demons crawling out from underneath it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible. I
Mm.
guess it had been a church before, and then they closed down. The Satanists came in and took it over for themselves, and it's overrun now.
Really?
Yeah. So it's just interesting to see it. It's kind
So
of like,
how many exorcisms has she done?
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you a lot. I know she's got her own team. She's very knowledgeable about it. She's been doing it I couldn't even tell you how long she's been doing it, to tell you the truth. So she's,
That's interesting.
yeah, very interesting.
So after that, you could actually do an exorcism by yourself, or do you need to assist people as you're doing it?
Afterwards,
Yeah,
no, I believe we can do it by ourselves.
really.
It's better to have other people with you.
Hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't want to do it alone, have so many prayer warriors with you, things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But yeah, I could do it by myself.
Mm. I know my friend that when he became before when he got his first Carla, he had to do like a certain amount of time assisting another
Yeah.
priest
Yeah.
doing it. And then as they, progress, then he's allowed to do it himself. But he had to assist with other
Oh,
priests.
yeah,
Yeah,
there's none of that here. People,
That's through the Catholic Church. He got his.
yeah. One of the sex. It all depends which one of the sex you're going with. Some people are actually mad that we're graduating like this, that we're graduating as priests.
Mm-hmm.
and exorcists, and in the time frame that we're doing it.
Yeah,
There's a lot of flack for that.
yeah.
That we study hard, and we're going in this for the right reasons. So
Yeah, your intentions are right.
right, exactly. I feel like I've been called for 5 years. I just prayed on it. I do honestly feel like I've been called to do it by God.
That's awesome. That's great. That's
So
good work. That's great work to do. You
yeah,
know.
it is. And the best thing about it, I don't have much fear going into things,
Hmm.
which is good. I can't watch like The Exorcist or
You
all
better get ready.
forget it.
Yeah, it's out. Okay.
I can't watch any of that stuff. I can do it, but I can't watch it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it's a different story because when you're in it, like in the heat of the moment, you know
Yeah.
what you need to do.
Right. It's kind of automatic.
Yeah.
I was just looking up, how many female exorcists there are, which I'm still looking for the number, but
Right.
it's interesting that the Roman Catholics, they won't allow female exorcists, but the very first female exorcist was in 1505. It was Saint Catherine of Siena.
Right. I
So
remember
they
her.
won't allow they won't allow female exorcists, but the very first one was a saint
I know, interesting, isn't it?
in 1505.
Yeah.
And we're in 2023, and they're
That's
fighting.
true.
It's so hard to watch that females are still held back from things.
Yeah, absolutely. We're second class citizens, I feel, in the Roman Catholic Church. Yeah,
Mm.
without
That's
a doubt.
why they got nuns.
It's true. That's true.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's, you can be a nun, but you can't be a priest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, in a lot of different things, you see that anyway. So not
Yeah.
just the church, businesses, and it's all over still. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it still
I
is.
think it might be getting better, but as a man, I don't know. So
Yeah. It's funny because when I was growing up, they had a nunnery down the street, and it was actually a farm, and you could see them on the big tractors with their habits on, just going. It's kind of a sight to see.
The old crazy
Yeah,
nun
exactly.
costume.
Oh, and they did. I went to Catholic school.
habits. Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
I went to Catholic school as a kid, so
so did I. I know
yeah.
you were scared of the nuns.
Oh, yeah. Especially that 3-foot rule they got there, the yardstick.
Right, exactly. Oh, my mom used to use that. She had like 7 kids, so she just threw all acting up.
Oh my gosh. So you're
Yeah.
one of 7?
7. Yeah,
7.
well,
No wonder
that's
why
why
you want to
she
do an
had 2 of them, like
Yeah.
a samurai,
Right, exactly.
Look at the bird.
That's how it was.
I come from an Italian house, so we had the wooden spoon.
Oh, there you go.
I got hit once with the wooden spoon with sauce still on it.
Oh my
And they was
god.
going like this. Yeah. It's like, ah!
There was no time to wait to wash it off.
Yeah, really.
She was stirring this sauce that she smacked me with the wooden spoon. It's like, come on.
Yeah, really.
My
So
girlfriend used to threaten her children with a wooden spoon. They didn't even know what it meant, and they would run.
Oh my goodness.
I guess it's just one of those things when you use a certain tone with something that you threaten with, it's just
Right.
set for life.
Right, exactly.
yeah. So when you get cases,
Yeah.
do you guys go in and do a sit down with the family and see if it's actually something going on or there's something in their minds?
You know what I do is I pre-screen over the phone, and then I have them fill out a sheet, well, several sheets, a background sheet, and what's going
Mhm.
on there, etc. They have to have 3 or 4 pages worth of information, and they have to send that back to me before I go over to their house. So,
Yeah.
with that and with talking to them on the phone, you can definitely pre-screen pretty
Mhm.
well and tell
Yeah.
which ones are. And it's hard to tell the people that you think are like not really with it. Um,
Yeah.
you can't help them because they're
Yeah.
usually extremely, what's the word, insistent
Hmm.
that you come
Yeah.
out there.
So how
Hmm.
do you word that to someone if they, if it's that there's a mental disorder or, something, what do you say to them?
I say either we can't help them or I tell them we need a mental and physical health clearance before we can go out there. And that usually takes care of it.
That's a good
Yeah.
way to say it.
That's when they get insulted. Say, I'm not crazy.
Yeah, really. So,
And then how many
That's what I tell myself. I'm not crazy.
people
yeah.
how many people do you have on your team?
Right now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, including me, 5.
That's a good sized team. I mean, it's always nice to have backup and have
Yeah,
someone to help you look things up and do some research.
it's hard to get the word out anymore. Google, for instance, won't accept my. I think it's because of what I do as a business. They did a couple of years ago, like 10 years ago, but now they won't. And it was my way of getting the word out there. So I'm slowly getting recognized out here. But in the interim, we're just doing, kind of fun investigations.
How long you in Florida?
I've been in here like a year. I didn't
Okay.
start until like February, though. My husband made me take a little time off.
And you were Texas before that.
Texas before that.
So do
Yeah.
you think that you had more stuff going on in Texas or more stuff going on in Florida? I mean, I know you've only been in Florida for a short time, but do you think it's more in Florida or do you think it's more in Texas? From what you
Judging by what I had in Texas, because
really?
I had 3 or 4 a week in Texas.
Oh,
And for the pandemic time, it was just me because people, and I understand that, didn't want to go into people's homes. Um, so it was just me doing them. So that's why I took time off when I moved out here. I was kind of a little bit burnt,
I can see why.
So now
mhm.
I'm up and running. If anybody's from the Melbourne, Florida area, Orlando, give me a call.
That's a
Yeah.
that's a heavily populated area as well.
Mhm.
It is. We'll travel up to an hour and a half outside of Melbourne.
Yeah.
Okay.
And with it being in the Orlando area, you have all of those theme parks with all of that energy and all of that activity and the people driving in and
Absolutely.
out. So that can have a lot to do with it as well.
Absolutely. In fact, they say Disney World's haunted. Who knows? You
Yeah,
know.
that's definitely haunted.
The mansion.
Yeah.
I've been to Disney a couple times and I seen things moving
Do you
around.
really?
That definitely has activity.
Right.
Um, even I mean, I seen it on the tram going back and forth. I seen something sitting there, and you know, yeah, it does have some sort of activity going on there.
Right.
But
Right.
they're not going to promote that because it's for kids,
Yeah, absolutely.
you
Absolutely not.
know.
Yeah.
And so, yeah,
You think it's evil or
I don't.
no?
I don't. The ones I've seen didn't. I did more positive. I
Right.
think that place has more positivity, and that's a like you got positive, negative, and that's the
Right.
reaction off of these feelings, off these, this energy. It could be positive or negative. Positive. There's a lot of positive.
There's
There is some negative there. There probably is some negative there, but I
yeah.
haven't come across it a couple times. I've been to Disney,
Right. Right.
so I've been in. I'm talking about like in '86, in the '80s. That's when I went to Disney. That's when
Yeah.
I came across some of this stuff, but nothing that I thought was going to be any kind of
Right.
bad.
That's awesome. It's positive. Yeah, I can see that too.
Hmm.
Definitely
Yeah.
see that with all the positive
More,
energy.
I mean, there's a lot of people that are more positive than negative. I mean,
Yeah,
like I said, there could have been some stuff that happened there. I mean, behind the scene type of stuff.
right.
People probably did die there in the past, and heart attacks and everything else because all that activity going on.
Yeah.
You get an old
Well,
guy there like me, like trying to keep up with the kids. I'd be like, boom, he's okay. He's haunting Disney now.
yeah.
You
No,
know.
there is a ton of positivity, especially from the little kids.
Hmm.
Absolutely. So, it only
Yeah,
stands to reason there be positive spirits there.
yeah. Like I said, yeah, but Florida in general over Texas. Florida in general is more compressed with people. I know Texas has more land to lay out people. There's more distance
Right.
between people than in Florida, where people to you in Florida are probably on top of each other. In Texas, you got all that land to separate it. So I could see more activity happening in Florida because of the
Yeah,
concentration in one area and the activity and the feelings and all the energy in those
that's
areas.
what's surprising me. I think I just need to get my name out there more,
Hmm.
or maybe people, there's a lot of people too that are afraid that people are going to think they're crazy if they admit what's going on, you know.
Yeah, I mean that's nowadays too. After COVID, people don't want people in the houses too.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't know when you come into the house
I
and what
don't
you
know. I
bring.
think Florida is very different than any place I've ever been. Like, people will even let you use their home to film horror movies for free, and you can splash blood all over it, and they don't care.
Oh, geez. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, they'll let you use it for free because
Right.
they just want their house to be out there and you know have their name be used in the credits.
Yeah. As long as they
But I
clean up,
think
it'll be fun.
Yeah,
I
clean up after yourself, or maybe get that blood off my walls.
Yeah, exactly. That's
I think
interesting.
the
Hmm.
difference might be. I've been sitting here thinking about it, trying to figure out what the difference might be. Um, Texas is connected to Mexico.
Right.
Mexicans are a strange group of people. They're very religious. However, after speaking to them when I was there, they
Yeah.
also have a deep rooted belief in tarot card readings. They believe
Absolutely.
in haunted objects.
Mhm.
They have like Dia de los Muertos.
Yeah.
They have a deep belief in both. So that could be part of it. Plus, there's also there was um, the Alamo. Like,
Right.
there's a lot there. So it could
There's
be
a lot there.
a
Isn't
bunch.
there
Plus,
something like Black Madonna or something, or no?
La
Or is
Lorna.
that not Mexican? What's
Well,
that?
La Lorna, the woman who killed her babies.
Oh no, it wasn't what I was thinking of. But oh my god, no, I didn't hear about that. You're more knowledgeable about that than I am.
Oh, I watch a lot of horror movies.
That's good. I wish I could. I'm a baby.
Um, she killed her children, and it's said that she will come and kill other people's kids.
Oh gosh.
Um,
Oh,
Okay.
it's terrifying. It's really terrifying. So that's supposed to be supposedly like equal to Bloody Mary, that kind of thing. Like,
but
Okay.
it's a very well known thing.
not to cut you off, but there is a YouTube thing that in the town that happened, they actually they hear screaming, wailing of a woman in the street, and the cops were there, and the whole town came out because they hear this woman screaming, and they don't know where it's coming from.
Yes.
Okay, I remember seeing that on. So yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the woman was. They have. It's a matter of fact, it's on YouTube with this woman screaming, and they found clothes of what the woman could be wearing and stuff like that in the
It's like
area.
a long
Yeah,
veil with a long frilly, like the Spanish dancers wear, like that kind of
Yeah,
dress with
right.
long veil.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Oh, that's
You gonna put
cool.
that comment up? You see the comment I'm talking about?
Oh, Daria.
Yeah.
She said, I've seen Stephanie in action, and she is the most caring and attentive investigator. She's genuine with clients, not dismissive of their claims, concerns, and fears. She investigates thoroughly.
Hey, Daria.
That's sweet.
It is sweet. I miss her. She's my friend down in Texas, my fellow investigator.
Aw.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
you had to form a whole new crew.
Well, me and Daria actually co-founded the team together, along with her sister, Sarah.
So that was in Texas. So when you moved to Florida, you had to start a whole new crew?
Yes.
That's difficult because you have to find people that you can trust and who will back you up and
that want to work, because there's a lot of work after. It just doesn't stop with the investigation. You've got to do the evidence afterwards.
Review, get all your stuff together. Yeah, I know that. Review and get all this stuff together, and then you have to sit down and get down and talk to everybody in the team and say, "Hey, is what we're going to give is review and stuff like that." And then you give you go and you show the customer.
Right, exactly.
So how did you go about finding people when you just moved and you didn't really know anybody?
God, this is weird. How did I find them? I put out a notice in Nextdoor, and the other ones, gosh, couldn't even tell you. I think I put something out on Facebook is what happened. And the crew I've got right now is fantastic. They would definitely help with the evidence. I'm just training them right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to teach them audacity and all that stuff.
Yeah. And Facebook's not bad to get people. I got one of my guys on my team, Giuseppe. Uncle Giuseppe, we call him. Joe. Yeah. They call him Uncle Giuseppe.
I like that.
He got in touch with me on Facebook. And I'm like, all right. He goes, I'm interested in the paranormal. I see you do the stuff. And all right. So I get in touch with him. And it happens that he only lived 3 blocks from me. Well, we grew up 3 blocks from each other in Glendale. And he knows my brother. He knows. And we started because I had him meet me at a diner. We sat down at a diner, had some coffee and stuff, and we were talking. We know everybody. My brother went to concerts with him. They have pictures together and stuff. I'm like, isn't that weird? We didn't know each other. He contacts me on Facebook, and he wants to be part of a team. So now he's still with me. He's with me 8 years, almost 10 years. Yeah, something like that.
It's a small world, Disney.
Yeah, it is.
It's a small world after all. Yeah.
So have you ever been called in by like a business like that, or like a theme park or anything that was?
Not yet. No. Well, a couple, actually, a podcast station I was once. And it was all innocent. They had heard things, they just wanted to kind of validate it. So we got some EVPs. That's about all we got there, I think. We got some EMF. But it was all positive. None of it was negative. So
I think no matter where you go, you're going to get something.
Absolutely, especially in a big office building. I mean, they're going to move from office to office to office. It doesn't matter. You can't cleanse them out. You can't cleanse them anyways if they're people.
Yeah.
No, you can say no. I wouldn't feel comfortable trying to do that.
Yeah. It's very hard when you got big offices and stuff like that. And, like you said, especially if they're not haunting one particular section.
Right.
And they at the whole building.
Yeah.
They can be anywhere. They can
be
anywhere. Unless you could get them to you. And then you got to do what you try to do what you got to do. But, it is hard. It's like they're like roaches. They exterminate your apartment. They run to the next apartment. They don't exterminate. They're still around. And when your apartment, the stuff goes away, they come back. So,
right.
Yeah. So you might cleanse one area and put the barrier so they won't be back for a while.
Right.
Eventually come back. Because I a couple of crossovers and stuff like that, I know I was part of, I always get a call back like a year later. They're
Right.
back, like and you go back and you try to do what you got to do, and you bring another cleaning in, and it's like cycle starts again. You
I know,
know.
really, most of the time, all you do is like talk to them, reason with them, and you guys,
Mhm.
if you coexist and don't bother them, they won't bother you, etc. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. Unfortunately,
Mhm.
I remember one night I had a really bad headache, and I guess I was a little more forceful than usual
Mhm.
with this ferret. I ran back an EVP, and it said, "God, she's mean."
It's like, get out of
I thought I got to ease up a little bit on this.
here.
Yeah,
So
give them the law.
Right.
Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, you could do whatever you want. After that, go to your room.
Yeah, exactly.
well, some places I do when I go into locations and I do private, and you really can't get rid of everything. So I just tell them, give them their boundaries.
Yeah.
Okay, don't do this, don't do that. You know what I mean? You could be here, you could do whatever you want, but just give me my space and you got your space. Okay,
Right.
it works out
Essentially,
sometimes, not every time, but I mean, I came across majority of the time they are. Or if they find out that the person that's actually in that location is like a family member, they
right.
say, leave them, you
Yeah.
know? And they end up talking to the spirit, and the spirit, you know, because it is that person, they talk to the spirit. So I guess the spirit feels more welcome to family wise,
Right.
and they don't get as bad activity. If they do, they welcome it, you know?
Right. Absolutely. If they want them gone, I mean, they've essentially, I like to say, you got to empower them to go ahead and take back their space. That's what a lot of what, are you okay? You just jumped.
Oh, me?
No,
Oh,
Maureen.
our dog just barked.
Oh,
She
okay.
put it on mute. It's just,
um, yeah, you got to teach them to empower and take back their own space. I think
hmm
that's the biggest thing.
yeah,
And
yeah.
there are people that want to do it, and then there are people that don't, and you can't help those people that won't a lot of
hmm
times. So
And I always say, like, if you're sitting on your couch
yeah,
and somebody comes in and says, "Hey, I'm here now. You have to leave." What are you going to do? I'm going to tell the guy, who you think you're talking to, and give him a smack upside his head. It's
right,
like a spirit. You go into their location and say, "Hey, I'm here now," and they're going to say, "No, you're not." They're going to fight back. So you give
yeah,
them their space, and you take your space, and usually works out. Usually, not every time, you know, but a couple times I've done it, and I spoke to people to do it. They come back and say, "Oh, nothing happened. Nothing happened." So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you know.
No, I
What do
hear
you
you.
think about places saying that you can't help to cross them?
Oh, I hate it. It's just I've been to one place, and it just makes me mad because that's all they do is they collect money. Um, that's their income by keeping the spirits in my mind essentially trapped.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't like it. I don't think it's fair. Yeah, a couple times I, you know, sat down and crushed a few over, not the whole. But it just makes me angry,
hmm
basically, that they're doing
Yeah.
that. It's
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
like slavery.
that's
but some spirits don't want to go anyway. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
yeah.
but I think that like I said earlier, you're going to get EVPs from everywhere because there's
Mhm.
spirits like I think someone said that there are 12 spirits for every like 11 feet or something like that.
Oh, geez. Okay, I didn't
So
know
I
that.
mean, there are spirits everywhere, and
Yeah.
sometimes you're like not the conduit, but you're like a beacon.
Yeah. If you have
Everybody
gifts,
has
definitely.
intuitive abilities, and like everyone has some form of an ability, even if they don't work with it or develop it.
Right.
So, like, I mean, all three of us here are psychic in some way. So if we go someplace, we're definitely going to pull something through. So
Yeah.
why not just cross something over? It's
Yeah,
especially
absolutely.
kids. I think holding kids back, that's just cruel.
It is. It's sad. Oh my god,
Mhm.
because they're just wandering around looking for their mom or dad. That's all they want.
But sometimes also spirits hold back spirits. There's always
Right.
a dominant spirit that keeps them all back and keeps them in check. And while he's there, the other spirits are not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I
It's
mean? So they're under hostage of his spirit also. You know, and a lot of locations I've been, you always come across that one dominant spirit that keeps everything else behind. You know, and
yeah,
it's funny because when you do try, I've been in locations where we did cross over. There was a dominant spirit, and we crossed the dominant spirit over.
right.
But the dominant spirit was the good spirit that was keeping the bad spirits from hurting the family.
Oh, gotcha.
Now the good spirit is gone, and the bad spirits that went to hurt the family start their stuff. Now you have to work on that. But
Yeah,
sometimes there are spirits that do things, but they're not doing it to hurt or scare the family, trying to protect the family. But within that, they are scaring and hurting the family, you
right,
know,
right.
because they're trying to hold back this bad negative entities. So sometimes when you do cross over, you cross over the good one, and now all hell breaks loose because all the other ones are coming out now.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
so you always have that one dominant spirit in a location with multiple spirits. So
right.
you know,
Yeah, you never know.
yeah. So you don't know who you're going to cross over and what's going to.
Right, until you do it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I had a private home investigation that I did, and these little kids were really terrified. And it turned out that their great grandparents were actually in this home watching over them, and the parents actually thought that they were, it was something demonic, and it wasn't.
Right.
But there was a spirit there that was really bothering them, and it was a girl who just meandered into their home off the street, and she had committed suicide. So imagine what they're seeing.
Right.
She could have been bloated and blue and have ligature
Absolutely.
marks and God only knows. And then her great grandparents are there. So she's seeing these people like just, walking around, and they're trying to make sure that she's safe or they're safe. And then there's this girl, you know? So I went in and I crossed the girl over and made sure that they were okay with the great grandparents being there. And they are bawling their eyes out that they were there because they really loved the fact that they were there taking care of
Oh,
the kids. So they said they wanted them there
yeah.
as long as, they could coexist and they wouldn't be bothering them. And they loved it. They loved the fact that they were there. When the names came up, I didn't know the names of the great grandparents.
Yeah.
They burst into tears, and they were like clapping and dancing. And I'm like, are these people the people you know? And they're like, yeah, that's his grandmother and his grandfather. And it was
Right.
really cool to watch how that went down, because I originally thought that this was going to be something that was going downhill quickly.
Yeah.
But the mom, like the grandmother of the little girls, she's like, oh yeah, I went in and I used my spirit animal to take it out, and it's inside the spirit animal. I'm like, why would you put it inside something that's with you all the time?
Oh, yeah.
That's
Oh
the
my god.
worst thing you could do. So we went back in and we removed whatever else was there. So
Right.
it was cool. It was really cool.
That is really cool. I like that.
So what kind of stuff do you do on a daily basis?
Daily, right now, I just have too many balls in the air, but usually I've got 3 rescues here, which take a lot of my time. One especially has got PTSD, and then I beach it or go to the pool.
See, I'm definitely going to have to think about moving down there now.
Yeah, it's really nice today. It was beautiful, like 81 degrees. But I've got my son down here too, who I see quite often. So I tend to it always tends to be busy days always.
And so,
Definitely. Yeah.
you
Live
know,
beach time. I'm like a sun god.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I'm more of a person who likes the forest and woods.
Yeah. No, my
I'm
husband's
over,
like that.
yeah, I like that better. I mean, beaches. My wife likes the beach, and then she's like, "Let's
Yeah.
go to the beach." Sand? Nah.
I'll go with Laura. That's okay. Well, Laura and I will go and we'll meet Steph.
There you go. There
You
you
guys can hang out at the beach. I'll be in the woods feeding my deer.
go.
You
Yeah,
can
my
do that
husband
very
doesn't
thing.
go.
I got my deers. You know.
Yeah.
But Florida. I mean, I've been down there. I actually took a test for Clearwater to become a cop.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. As you can see, I never made it.
That's okay.
I passed the test, but I was in, I mean, they had these guys taking the test, so like 6'2", and they were
Oh,
V shaped with the Marine cut hairdo, and
yeah.
standing up at attention. And here I come walking in, me, my brother, and my friend. We're all like, I'm 5'8", and we're all about the same. And my brother's a little shorter than me, and little heavy guys coming in, and we're waddling in, and all these guys are like marching in, and like, we're not going to get this. You know what I mean? It's like, look at this guy, look at us. They want somebody that looks good, like, that, so I didn't become a cop in Clearwater, Florida. So I became an electrician in New York City. Hey, much
There you
better.
go.
I would
Right.
love to be in Clearwater, Florida right now.
Yeah. Oh, it's perfect. It is just gorgeous right now.
So
I'm
Absolutely.
sure it is. Keep rubbing it in, Steph.
Oh, sorry. You gotta come down and visit me. Open invitation.
Absolutely. I would listen. I would love to live there. We're actually thinking about it.
Oh, cool. Instead of downsizing, we upsized. I don't know why.
You upsized instead of downsizing?
We did. We
Oh,
have too much junk.
we're just downsizing. I can't
Yeah.
do all that anymore.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I don't do it. My husband cleans the house. Bless his heart.
He can clean our house too.
Okay, I'll send him over.
but you have to wear a little the French apron.
Yeah. Oh, there you
French
go.
outfit for her house. You have to clean the house in a little French outfit.
A little dust.
Duster. I'm here to clean.
Yolanda said that she doesn't watch anything scary because she doesn't need any more shit in her life now, especially if the veil's thinning. And she said, one of our regular viewers, and she said, when I was younger, the worst scary movie was Halloween. She doesn't like Mikey Myers. What is your favorite movie, guys? Since Halloween's coming up,
Oh God, you know what? Like I say, I can do it. I can't watch it. Literally, can I watch
so
The
you don't like
Conjuring?
scary movies?
Mm-mm. No,
Really?
that's
Yeah.
really weird. I'll watch like The Conjuring and things like that. But yeah,
Well, they're scary, but they're not like slasher movies.
right, exactly. Yeah, slasher
Mhm.
movies. I don't know. It's the only thing. My son-in-law really loves them.
I do too. I don't love slasher movies. I like the psychological scary stuff.
Yeah, see, I like that psychological thrillers and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
like
what's your favorite scary movie?
that.
I like a lot of this. I like a lot of the movies. Um, anything recently? I've been watching Halloween. Well, I always watch horror movies. But I stay up late. My family will go to sleep. My wife hates horror movies, so I stay up late just to watch horror movies. The horror
So,
stuff.
what's your most recent? Have
I
you watched
like.
The Exorcist, the new one?
I watched that. I didn't see the new one yet. I didn't see the new one yet at
It's
all.
pretty creepy.
Is it
Yeah, I
really?
heard. It's getting mixed reviews on that. But the only movie I ever got a little freaked out on, it's a psychological type movie, but it's called Strangers.
Oh yeah, that
That
one got me.
with what's her name? That could really happen. What it is husband and wife, they had a fight, and they were going away for the weekend at this cabin in the woods type of thing, and the middle of the night, somebody knocks on their door, and the wife's by herself, and I'm hurt. Can you help me? And she's like, no, 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 go away. And she keeps on turning me away. Now the husband comes home, and they start. It's they're going to sleep and banging on the door. Let us in. Let us in. Ends up that they get into the house, and they tie them up. They're killers. They're killers.
Oh,
These
God.
people, and
Yeah.
they chase them through the house and everything. But at the end, it's like the one line of the movie I love. And they say I could rewind that movie part. Then the woman is tied up to the chair and goes, "Why are you doing this to us? Why are you doing this?" And another one, they have masks on too, and they're going, "Because you're home.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Because you're
So
home."
it could have
And
been.
that scene, I was like, "Oh!" And then they start stabbing them slowly. They just take a knife and they just sticking them in. It was it was to me more of a something that could really happen.
It could happen
Right.
to anybody.
You know what I
If
mean?
you're they because you're home, they could have picked the next house or the next
Yeah.
house or the
Right.
house a mile away, but it was because they were home.
That was the scariest one I ever heard. Like, why are you doing this to us? Why? Because you're home. I'm like,
Anthony,
whoa.
is Tamara here?
Yeah.
She kept like knocking on the door and she'd say, "Is Tamara here?"
Yeah, it was like a wild movie. Strangers. You gotta check it out.
I will check
It's
it
a
out.
couple years old. It's a couple years old. And what's her name's in there? Tyler.
Liv Tyler.
Liv Tyler.
Oh, you like her.
I told my
Yeah, she's in
husband
that
that would
movie.
never happen at this house because they would never even make it close to the front porch.
Yeah, it was the Dons.
No, because of me.
I
Yeah.
hear you.
That's the kind of movie you want to watch. Right now, this time of year, everybody's watching horror movies and stuff. They seen the House of Usher.
Oh my God, it's
It's a
amazing.
series on it is a good series that's on Netflix right now.
Okay.
And I watched it. I was like, because it has everything to do with that is Edgar Allan Poe.
Yes.
And that's what's crazy because it's a storyline and everything, well, House of Usher was Edgar Allan Poe, was in one of his books also. But everything in there has something to do, if you look, had something to do with one of his poems, one of his stories.
Right.
So it's pretty good, House of Usher.
Weave other things through, say it's about like the Raven. In
Yeah.
that particular episode, they'll weave something about the cask of Amontillado in it.
Mm-hmm.
I can watch that.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
And they have the Telltale Heart and all. It was like I like Edgar Allan Poe. I really do. He's one of my
Right.
favorites. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
I'm gonna look into that
But
without
yeah,
a doubt.
that's good to check that out.
Yeah, definitely. We need some good things to check out and watch.
And I just watched The Exorcist again. I watch it, I laugh and stuff like that. And I actually met Linda Blair.
You
later
did?
on. Yeah. I got pictures of me and her and stuff. And she's a very nice person, but she didn't really she's into more of dog rescues now. She's into like all that dog rescue, and she has a bunch of stuff that she gave you flies and stuff like that.
Right.
But it's she was so nice. She was very nice. And it's funny because my brother was with me, and I think my brother got traumatized from The Exorcist, watching that movie, that he was like kind of like, you screwed me up in life. He told her. I took care. He came and watched it. He came and looked at the picture, The Exorcist picture, the advertisement and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's funny. It's like I used to watch that, So there's a lot of good pictures out there. So I like my horror. And of course I have to watch my ghost shows. You know what I mean? I watch shows and all that stuff, and the horror and ghost, and I watch the ghost shows just to see,
Is there any episodes on now? Because for a while, like after Texas, I just didn't watch them because I was like over.
The shows that are out now, I do watch. I think it's a good show too. Dead Files.
Yeah, what happened to that? Is she still on?
No,
She
she left, and was Cindy
Keza, she actually chose Cindy Keza to replace her because
yeah,
she wasn't well and she needed a break.
yeah.
Yeah, we were
And
supposed to
Cindy's
be
good.
here
I met her too. She's a very nice girl, nice woman.
Yeah, we was going to be Amy's last case before she, but right when she was due to come over, I got this phone call, and evidently she kept getting hit by all the cases and all the demonics in there, making her really sick. So she
Yeah.
left.
Wasn't
And
well. I know that
no,
she
they,
wasn't well. She had a bunch of personal issues going on, and she just decided that she kind of had enough. So she was just,
right.
I think she was taking some time off, and she was going to be a producer instead. And she chose, like, she handpicked Cindy Keza for this.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
so it's the same. It's just Cindy instead of Amy.
I have to start watching it then. Okay.
Yeah. I've been watching now with her, with Cindy, and she's doing a good job.
Yeah,
I love Steve.
It's like a different type of when walk around.
yeah.
There's two different styles, but I mean I like both styles. But she's doing a good job now, so I would recommend that bar.
Saturday night? Is that when she's on? Friday or Saturday?
To tell you the truth, I don't know. I watch it on
I
Hulu.
want to say
I watch it whenever.
Friday.
I watch it in the morning because I can't watch nothing here because my wife doesn't like horror. So I got to watch leftovers there. It's like
Yeah,
It
yeah.
definitely is different because Amy definitely had a totally different style than anybody else. She was very
mhm.
she was more like a physical medium, I think. Like she almost like channeled.
Right,
Her
exactly.
accent changed and her voice changed and her facial features even kind of changed a little bit. So she's definitely different. I mean, I know a lot of people didn't like that, but I don't think people understood that that's what she did.
Right.
I think they thought that she was a little bit crazy, but until you are a psychic medium and you understand
Yeah,
that
you
that can happen, I mean, it's rare that that happens for me, but it can
yeah,
happen. I think that you wouldn't understand it. And when it does happen to you, it can completely change your thinking and even like your body, and it can make you sick. And um,
right.
I feel terrible for her that it's come to that because
Yeah.
it's changed her life, unfortunately.
They
Mhm.
say that physical mediums have a shorter lifespan than other people, and that's
It's made me sick.
yeah. Has it?
Yeah.
I
I
like
mean, I can drive through a battlefield and feel all the pain, all the sickness, how people passed
oh
away,
my
every
gosh.
shot that they felt. When people come and get a reading from me, I can tell them how they became ill, if they were electrocuted, if they had a
Goodness.
pinched nerve from what happened to them. I mean, they don't have
Right.
to even tell me anything.
Feel everything.
Hmm.
Oh my
And
goodness.
people say, "Oh my God, that's so cool! You're so lucky."
No, you're not.
It's
It's
not
a
lucky.
double-edged sword.
Yeah, it's not lucky at all, and
No.
it's not easy when you're already sick yourself.
Right. Right.
It's heightening that illness and making you sicker, and it's almost like you're giving up your health for other people.
Absolutely.
You have to block and ground and protect as much as possible or even more
Right.
because you're doing it like double time for other people.
Right. Right.
Yeah, Yolanda, it's like, I guess it's being an extra empath, I would say, because you're feeling what other people's emotions are, but you're also feeling their physical health is on top of that. So it's not just their
Mhm.
emotions, it's their
Right.
physical body as well.
Right.
Mhm.
What are your gifts, Steph?
I'm empathic and intuitive. it's starting to open up more and more. The more I delve into this, the more my gifts are increased.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I always tell people that. They're like, well, I don't have any abilities. Everybody has abilities. It's just whether you use them or not. And
Shut down to them.
yeah, you can put a wall up. You could just never use them at all. But the more you use them, the more gifts come out. And you can kind of, I don't want to say borrow them from other people. Like if all of us were together, we can kind of not steal them, but we can lend them to each other, I think, if that's the word I want to use.
No, I agree. It was like
I'll
15
rent mine out for you, okay?
You what?
I'll rent mine out.
You want
years.
listen, so I can pay for it?
Yeah.
What is this? Rent a center?
Yeah, rent their ability.
There you go.
And I
There's
thought
a
we loved
business
each
idea.
other.
Yeah, I did shut mine down like 15 years ago. And it's coming back. So it's harder to get it back than it is to shut them down without a
Yeah,
doubt.
it is. Definitely is.
Mhm.
And sometimes your
And
spirit
they'll come
guides
back differently too. It might
Yeah.
not come back fully. It'll come out. You might have different ability, or you might have lost ability from the past also. So
Right.
they'll
Right.
come back. But
Absolutely.
you might find something else with that.
if you
Yeah.
overuse something, like if you're playing with a pendulum or a set of dowsing rods, sometimes they will go dead and you don't know why. It's because your spirit guides are telling you that you're overusing them for stupid, superficial crap.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that.
Sometimes if
I
you're
didn't
not like if you're something is not working for you,
Yeah.
like your clairgustians, if that just goes dead, it's
Yeah.
because your spirit guides think that it's dangerous for it to be used at whatever
Right.
time, or it's just like in overdrive, so they stop it. And then
Yeah.
something else may take effect and go into overdrive. And I think a lot of people don't understand that that's important, because if you're using something for the lottery,
Right.
you're not supposed to be using it for a lottery or get a
Yes.
false response, Yolanda said. If you get a
Yeah.
false response, then that's when you should be putting it down and giving it a break. Like you
Right.
shouldn't always be using it. Maybe you should be using your intuition instead. You were given those gifts for a reason. You shouldn't be using the dowsing rods and the pendulums.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%.
Mhm. Yeah. Well,
Definitely.
the dowsing rods was always interesting. That's how I started with the paranormal. Back when I was 13 years old.
The
Pendulum.
dinosaur bones.
Yeah, I had Dino bones for pendulum for the pendulum, and then for the dowsing rods. That's how I started with dowsing rods. I was 13, and they were made out. I was always said I was made them out of the old metal coat hangers. You
Oh,
know?
no kidding.
Yeah, my mother used to always picked off at me, but hey, I used to take her hangers and steal them.
That's so funny that you did that and your mom was mad at you. Was she mad at you for using her coat hangers, or was she mad at you?
Yeah, because he goes, where are you putting my coat? I used to put it on like a hook on the wall or some shit like that, like on a doorknob. It's hanging on the doorknob.
Was did she know about what you were doing? Like, did she get into that stuff too?
My mother knew I was not using the coat hangers for that. She thought I was using them for other things. I
Oh,
was just using them. My mother knew I could see and all that experience, what I do. Well, she knew I was experiencing things, but I wasn't allowed to talk about it. She experienced things, but she didn't ever talked about it. My grandmother experienced things and never talked about it. You know what I mean? It was like that type of thing, you know, back that era, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. You're not allowed to talk about these things. You weren't supposed to. And yeah, my mother's get mad. I mean, like the coat would be hanging on a hook or something like that. So like, where's my coat? So yeah, but my mother knew um, you know, I see things, but she didn't know I was taking hangers and bending them up and sneaking out of the house at 3 o'clock in the morning, going to a cemetery, walking around by myself. She didn't know I was doing that. So I used to do that with the dowsing rods and Boy Scout compass. and a 35 millimeter camera with a big light. You shot down and you could see for miles, you know. But yeah, I guys just sneak in the cemetery for 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock, or something like that, and go do what I got to do, or after midnight sometimes. But where I lived had 9 cemeteries around us, so
Oh, geez.
yeah,
You're
we had
brave.
famous people. There's famous people buried in Glendale. Houdini, Mae West. We have Lucky Luciano. We have all the. We have a bunch of people there. Peter Luger from the Peter Luger restaurants and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, plus there's other famous people buried there, politicians and stuff. You know, you know. So I used to sneak into these cemeteries and see what I could get at nighttime.
How old were you?
Huh? I was
How-
13. 13.
Oh, gosh. That's
I see
brave.
my first full body. I've been experiencing since 3 years old. I've been
Yeah.
seeing things since I was 3 years old. So about 13 years old, I was with friends, and I seen a full body um, entity. I seen a full
Yeah.
body um, spirit, and I was like, I got a little freaked out. And then after that, I went back to the thing at nighttime, and I got touched, and it's a whole story. I'm not going to get into all this. It's a big story, but that's what really intrigued me. It's like, people thought I was crazy. So I was with a group of people when I first seen my first full body apparition, and they thought I was crazy. So
So you saw it, but they didn't?
no,
Oh.
that's why I was with about 10 kids. None of them seen it, and that freaked me out a little bit. The next night I went to in the cemetery where the birds. It was in the cemetery that we seen it, and then I went the night after back to the cemetery up to where there was a church that was burnt out. And I went there and I had feeling of hands being pushing on my arm, my back, and everything. I had a couple experiences that night that really freaked me out somewhat. But I actually started going out. After that, I started going cemeteries. I wanted to see, and I'm gonna prove these guys I'm not crazy. I'm gonna prove these guys I'm not crazy. I'm gonna get a photo. At 13 years old, back then, it was expensive to develop film. So a lot of stuff I could buy the film, but I couldn't develop it. So a lot of stuff wasn't developed. And I did get a couple pictures out of it, but after all these years, I don't know what happened to any of it. So, but yeah, and so after that, I started going and doing my stuff. And I started coming and talking to people about it more and more, and started losing friends and stuff. I come from a very religious area. So people thought I was crazy, weird, and everything else. They were mean and everything. So I just got continued doing it, Well, because I wanted, and not to like 2000s. I had started having people follow me around and go with me on things. But 2004 opened the floodgates when the shows opened. Started Ghost Hunters. Uh, was Ghost Adventures, I think, started around that time too. And what was the other one? Paranormal State. Those 3 shows, I think, opened up everything for everybody. Now it became a thing on TV, and people are like, "Oh, that's cool! Oh, that's cool!" Everybody went out and bought K2 after that. Well, my first equipment we bought wasn't in any of these ghost stores, ghost hunting and all that stuff. It was actually in a hardware store.
Mm-hmm.
EMF meters and everything that we pretty much use came from construction industry.
Right.
So that's what I was in at that time, especially being an electrician. I EMFs. Oh, God, great! I have that. I have those things as tools. So that's where I got most of my stuff, from hardware stores. And then later on, they started making fancy models and stuff like that. And everybody thought they were a ghost hunter. Right as soon as the K2 came out, that's when everybody floodgated and said, "Oh, I'm a ghost hunter. K2 and a recorder. Let's go."
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of my background with that. But that's
Wow.
going through the years, and That's how I learned most of the stuff. I never took any classes. I never had anybody back then to actually tell me what to do. I didn't even know who. I didn't really know who the Warrens were until the freaking movie started coming out. Into Amityville. That's when I first heard about the Warrens when Amityville came. But I wasn't a person that sat down and watched TV or read books and all that stuff. You know, so I learned a lot on my own. Then later on, you started getting ideas from everybody else. So, all these groups I work with, so everybody has a different thing. So you learn.
Yeah.
You follow some of the things you learn from everybody else. So you know, you learn here and you learn there, and now I'm at a point that I'm showing people what to do too. So it's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
And,
It's really cool.
If somebody wanted to know if they were allowed to ask what was on your wall in your pictures.
Oh, I have to look because I haven't looked in a while. I've got Forrest Gump over there. I've got Snow White, The Matrix, and Lucy and Ethel smooshing grapes.
and that's a cool one. I like that episode when Italy starts the grapes. Yes,
all the
yes.
great ones. Very
Yeah.
different, but all great.
That's awesome. The little movies and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put up your website, your phone number, and your email address
Thank you.
so that anyone can get in contact with you if they need to. And you're always welcome back with us if you'd ever like to come back and speak.
Oh, always. You guys are wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We
It was
wish you
great
the
talking to
best
you.
of luck.
Yeah, it was wonderful talking to both of you.
I had a good time.
Yeah, I really did. I had a great time. It just flew by.
Yeah, it did. I'm down to Florida. I'll look you up.
You got to, because we got more space than we know what to do with. So,
I would like to come and visit you and we can do a nice investigation.
hey, anytime you're welcome. We'll go down to St. Augustine.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah,
great. I would love that. Just so everyone knows that Bobby's going to do the last of Spook Wave tonight in 20 minutes on ERRT Radio and Mixler, and it's going to be Halloween vibe. So don't forget, happy Halloween and blessed Samhain to those who practice. Is there anything you want to add before we leave?
I don't. Just thank you both.
Thank you. And good luck with your studies. We'll be looking forward to seeing you out there. As always, we had another great guest, Steph Brady. I'm Maureen Grodzinski, otherwise known as Little Witchy. This is my great co-host, Anthony Simonelli, otherwise known as...
Just to forget about it. I want to say good night. Now, you got to be safe out there. We want to look for ghosts, not be a ghost. Good night. Ciao.
We will see you next Thursday, 7:30 to 9:30 East Coast time.